Welcome to Shoptalk TV. I'm Raquan Lucas. I am a VP of Content here at Shoptalk, and I have the pleasure of chatting with Deborah Weinswig, who is the founder and CEO of Coresight Research.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, really looking forward to the conversation, Deborah. So before we get into the startup pitch, which you are very much involved in as the lead MC and lead judge, I wanted to get your just general review on how Shoptalk Spring is going, and particularly around kind of technologies or maybe trends that you have been hearing kind of like pop up in conversations or in some of the content that you've been seeing.
I mean, this year definitely feels different in that, right? I had a meeting with somebody from the healthcare industry. We do a lot in retail real estate. And so what I'm seeing is that Shoptalk's convening power continues to grow. And so conversations that would be very difficult to have in going back to some of the themes of startup pitch, efficiency. Mm-hmm. And so you can take like a pearl that you get here and then quickly move it around. And so I've always been very interested in car commerce, for example. And so I met with Arity and I'm like, I didn't even know that, the company did this and that, and then there's actually like a retail real estate angle there. And so starting to be able to pull, right, like the tech where people think, right, agentic or agentish, whatever you want to call it, the ability and now what the ecosystem looks like. I think Shoptalk Spring has done an amazing job of bringing everybody together. So as you learn along the way, over 3 days, you truly can transform your business.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. That's always what we're attempting to do, is to help retailer and brand executives get to see the different technologies that are out there that can benefit their businesses, and then to understand where kind of the future of retail is going. So that's great to hear you say that. So you mentioned and alluded a little bit to startup pitch, and we're just maybe an hour or so away from that happening. I guess I wanted to hear your perspective as the lead judge and again MC for a startup pitch program on how that experience was this year.
It was really interesting because what you're seeing, I think, and this is actually a big aha or unlock, and especially if you think about it from the VC side, because companies can scale so quickly now, their ability to get to, if you will, positive EBITDA. I mean, like ShopPeaks was like 7 months, right? I mean, this speed, and so thereby then the interest to invest in those companies is changing the game in a way I don't think. It goes back to when you're on stage, you think about things in a different way. And I'm like, these companies, right, in a year could all be 10x their size, but it's because of the tech stack they're built on. And as a result, how quickly they can move and also lean into the needs, right? If you're food or non-food, fashion, et cetera, of the different retailers and how quickly they can evolve. That's a startup by nature anyways, but I think with Gen AI, it's at a different level.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes a lot of sense. I feel like in the same way that kind of consumers like attention is like kind of like in consumers behaviors are like evolving. It's great to see that startups also have like this ability to go from emerging and truly a startup to being able to support a bunch of customers and clients and having those solutions kind of scale as well. So that's really cool, and I would certainly agree on that front. So you've already mentioned it like a couple of times, like AI and specifically agentic AI. And we saw through Startup Pitch, and for context for those who didn't get a chance to attend in person at Shoptalk this year for Shark Reef Startup Pitch, we had 12 companies participate in round one, and we broke them out into two different cohorts. One cohort that was thinking about leveling up the customer experience, and the other cohort that was thinking about streamlining and automating business operations. And so kind of what we saw as a theme or thread, particularly in the unlocking business efficiencies, but even like across the board, was companies who are leveraging agentic AI. And so I guess what I kind of wanted to get your perspective on is whether you think agentic AI is kind of overhyped, underhyped, maybe appropriately overhyped, and I can offer my perspective on it too.
It's a great question. I think it's underhyped. And I will say some of the one-on-one meetups I've had have helped, like where maybe my thought process was here, have even taken it a step farther. So I just met literally just right before this meeting, right in between startup pitch and this. And he said, I think we're going to have, right, all different versions of ourselves. We're going to have our agent who books our travel. We're going to have our agent who makes our dinner reservations. And they're going to really, so, because if you can think about it from your perspective, you can think about it from the company perspective. And so if you start to think about how narrow that sliver ends up being, and going back to like this idea around like hyper personalization and how, right, we heard about that, I know you're going to be talking later to Playably. I mean, this idea around this hyper personalization and what the agentic or agentish kind of era means for us and means for the companies. But also I think one thing that you brought up that's super important is customer experience, and what customers are going to expect, I think is going to and employees. Employees are ultimately your ultimate customer. And so I think that we're going to see I think we are seeing it. I think we're very early. I think 26 is going to be a significant breakout year, and we will see ROI at levels I think we've never seen.
Yeah, I kind of tend to agree. I guess if I had to put it in one of those kind of categories, I would maybe lean towards like appropriately hyped, because I do feel like I'm hearing so much about it, and what people see, kind of where people see the potential of agentic AI.
But I'm pushing back. Okay. Because think about it, everyone here is in like our
That's true.
innovative world. And so I think, once you start to kind of step outside, that's where I think, so like here, I mean, maybe it's even overhyped, but the minute you start to kind of extend your world, you're like, wow, the opportunity to impact real change, right? And to really like help out, like, it doesn't matter now if you're early stage or if you're a heritage brand, right? Your opportunity to grow and evolve. I mean, that's what I'm so excited to hear at Shoptalk, because it's like you can taste it, right? Mm-hmm. Like you can actually like physically taste where we're going. And I feel like this, it's funny. I got here very early. So like Monday, and people are like, I'm so excited to be here. I'm like, I said, I am too, because I think what we're going to see is we're going to meet companies and people who are going to help all of us kind of break out in a new way.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. As I think about agentic AI and kind of like what it could potentially unlock, there seems to be like so many different paths and solutions across an organization where, a solution could be dedicated to a co-pilot that's helping with optimizing merchandising or optimizing the supply chain or optimizing marketing. And a lot of those companies, again, were kind of reflected in Startup Pitch just a bit earlier. So it's really, really exciting to see. And I can't wait to kind of like assess where we'll be, like, maybe 3 to 5 years from now.
Yeah, and I just want to say, I think that how, right, you had the customer experience side and then the automation of business processes side, so that you can invest in the customer experiences and you can fund it from here as you become more efficient. That to me, right, other conferences I've been to this year, everyone's hearing a lot on customer experience. They're like, first of all, it's a lot, but how do we fund that? And so I just want to say, like, hats off. I think that was really well thought out and really well done, because you're giving people a total solution.
Yeah. I think it was definitely that, and what you spoke to, and us just thinking about, how we could allow our audience and attendees to kind of identify what solutions are going to make the most sense for them. In past startup pitches, it's kind of been 12 companies kind of merged together, which I think, in a lot of ways could be beneficial too, kind of offer like a bit of a surprise and delight a little bit aspect to it, but we wanted to offer a little more direction too. So I think that came across. But I think as you were discussing the two categories, it made me realize that when we moved from round 1 to round 2, and we went from 12 companies to 6, what ultimately ended up happening, not intentionally, was that we had 3 companies
crazy.
for customer experience.
I know.
Yeah, and then 3 that were thinking about automation.
And 2 in supply chain.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, that to me,
shocking, right?
That incredibly shocking, and we really haven't had. I mean, one of my key passions is supply chain. That was, I think, so interesting. And those companies are both far enough along that they know if they have product market fit too.
Yeah, no, that was great. It was super cool to see that balance. Well, Deborah, it's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Always.
I feel
Never
like we can
enough
talk.
time.
Exactly, we can talk forever.
Yeah.
But pleasure having you all here on Shoptalk TV.
Thank you.
And look forward to future conversations with you.
Can't wait. Thanks.
Yeah, take care.